Hi, this is Ed Salabao from Team Horizon Hobby, and today I am talking about learning to fly first-person view, or FPV, compared to your traditional line-of-sight flying. To discuss the differences, FPV flying is a different perspective. The way this is done is it gives you a view of the aircraft like you are sitting inside the cockpit. This is done by streaming live video from a camera on the front of the aircraft down to your FPV goggle, like something like this, or maybe a small monitor or screen. Either way, it makes you feel like you are on board the aircraft and you're flying and controlling this from inside the cockpit. Now, compared to your traditional line of sight flying, which we are all accustomed to, it is basically you're standing on the ground and you're looking at the aircraft and you're flying it from, from a spectator's point of view. So I want to start off by discussing what equipment you may already have that is suitable for FPV. So the first thing that I want to tackle is the radio. Most FPV racers only require 4 or 5 channels. Typically 5 is most widely used, being the 5th channel for modes. And you can also use 6. You can use a 6 channel for arming and things of that nature. So DX6 radio, like the one shown here, is a great radio for FPV, and I know quite a bit of people that use Spectrum have a DX6 or a DX9. So anything from the Spectrum line that has, I would recommend 6 channels, is a good radio to start out with. Then the next one would be batteries. So batteries, if you guys have a Blade 300, which uses, the E-flite 3S 1350 packs, these batteries will actually work on an FPV racer. Many of the racers out there, and I'll speak in particular, the Blade Vortex Pro, actually do take 3-cell packs, and it's more than adequate for learning and flying around. Once you're ready to step up for more power, all you really have to do is switch over to a 4-cell pack, and there's nothing for you to change. The FPV racer just takes it, and then obviously the gain in power and speed is very significant when you switch over to 4S. Another thing is the charger. So what I have here is an older Passport charger from Dynamite, and this will work as well for FPV. The good thing is FPV racing uses the smaller batteries, which does not require a crazy powerhouse charging setup. So typically small chargers like this, more than enough for FPV flying. And once you get more batteries, or you want to start, charging more batteries at the same time, you can always upgrade to, something like this, which is one of my favorites right now, the new Dynamite quad port charger. It's 100 watts per side, and it enables me to charge 4 batteries all at the same time. So this has been kind of my go-to charger now when charging up my packs when I'm getting ready to go out to go fly FPV. Okay, the next topic I wanted to discuss is basically getting started and getting in the air and getting some practice. So what I did was grab a combo set of the Blade Nano FPV, which is what you see here. So basically this is a very small indoor quadricopter that has a camera up front, transmitter all built into one. And the combo comes also with this Fat Shark teleporter goggles, which is well suited for just indoor and starting to learn. Also comes with this radio, by the way, but I'm assuming you probably have a much more higher end Spectrum radio. You can just bind it and use it with this Nano FPV. Now, as I was making this video, Blade has announced the new Nano 2 FPV, basically the successor for this one. That would be another great option for indoor flying. The reason why I really want to push for indoor flying is because, like myself, I got accustomed to flying FPV. Actually, my improvement was really noticeable after I spent some stick time flying just inside my house. You know, going underneath chairs, going around, you know, the house, going up in the rooms. It was a fun way of learning FPV, and you don't really have to go outside, you know, so you don't have to worry about the weather and things like that. So I highly recommend getting something where you can start playing around and getting comfortable flying FPV. So again, the Nano FPV, the Nano 2 FPV is slated to be out around end of April, if I'm not mistaken, of this year. So keep an eye out for that. It's supposed to be a really good machine with more power, better stability, and a much stronger transmitter, which will enable you to go further or deeper into the rooms inside your house. So when I was learning to fly RC helicopters, I actually spent quite a bit of time on the simulator, learning to be proficient at flying RC helicopters. So it's the same thing with learning FPV. I wanted to be able to do that as well. So it's a very simple setup actually, which I think also requires a very small investment on your part. You know, as you see here, I just want to show my setup. I have Spectrum radio. I am using this cable, which is a USB SIM cable that you can get from Amazon for around I think $8. And then I'm using a lot of the free software that's out there. And this one specifically is, you know, Formula FPV. And let me just show you here and show you that, you know, it's fully functional. I turned off the sound, but you know, as you can see, it's working perfectly. Okay, let that go down. So I just want to let you guys know that getting into simming with your Spectrum radio is definitely an easy and affordable solution. So now I wanted to discuss picking up my first FPV racer. So I set kind of my own personal rules when I wanted to get into FPV, and that is I wanted to get airborne as quickly as possible. I wanted a model or FPV quad racer that's durable and can grow with me as I progress. So to me, the Blade Vortex Pro was a perfect fit for those requirements. And as you can see here, this is the model as it comes out of the box. It's packed with features compared to a lot of the multi-rotors out there. You see there is a built-in damping system for the camera to lessen vibration. Everything is nice and finished. When I say that, everything's nice and covered. Electronics all sealed. You got this nice LED strip in the back. Overall, just a very nicely well done machine and very well thought of, and it flies extremely well. So with the Vortex Pro, I also ended up picking up a new goggle here, this is the Dominator V3 from Fat Shark, available also at Horizon Hobby. The reason why I went with a new goggle is basically when I decided when I want to go start racing or flying with others, you will want to be able to get the other frequencies that are available. So the teleporter goggles that I showed earlier that comes with a Nano FPV only supports the 7 Fat Shark channels, where there's really about 40 channels that are being used out on the race circuit. So this goggle enables you to put in modules of your choice and lets you go out and race, you know, if you want to start doing that. So I figured getting the Fat Shark Dominator V3s was a good investment that can grow with me, just like the quad here. Now, if you go back and look at my YouTube videos, I've posted my progression videos from the day I started flying the Blade Vortex Pro. So I did that on purpose as I wanted to document and give possible beginners the idea what it's like to progress flying FPV for somebody that has line of sight experience. You will see on my previous videos that I posted on, I think, my 8th flight, my 30th flight, and my 37th flight, that you can see the improvement as I get flights in. And mind you, I did not sim or did not pick up the sim anymore at that time. It's literally just battery packs after battery packs, in a span of a few weeks, that put me to a point where I was comfortable going through gates. And you'll see that on flight number 37, I think, on my upload. But anyways, it's been a while since that, and I've progressed even more. But what I wanted to wrap up this video with is letting potential people that are thinking of going into FPV, that the progression for us line of sight flyers, I feel we have an advantage. I think my hand and eye coordination that I've developed throughout the years helped quite a bit in my progression. I also don't hesitate as normally as when I was a like beginners normally when you first hold the sticks, when you want to put an input, you have that hesitation in you, thinking you're going to put in the wrong input. But since I've been flying for quite some time, I put an input and I go, okay, that's not right. I don't have a problem correcting it. I don't really have that hesitation. And also, being a line of sight flyer, we also have the fine controls already built into our stick movements. Typically beginners, they tend to slam the sticks all the way to the corners, where us, the ones who've been flying for quite some time, we already have that fine control, and it just helps progress much, much faster.